Okay, for the first one, you got credit for that one. Just be careful when you're typing in your answer to be sure you're typing in a comma. Okay, so you have 0.3 instead of 0.3. Okay, so on that one, just make sure you're putting a comma there. Okay, but I gave you full credit for that one. Okay, for the next one, it says to graph the linear inequality. Here you have the correct line graphed, but you want to make sure you're mindful that you're graphing an inequality, which is y greater than -7. And so in this case here, greater than or less than implies that you have a dashed line. Oops. Okay, so if we have less than or greater than, that implies a dashed line, so a strict inequality. Okay, and so here, since y is greater than -7, we know that this line will be dashed, representing y basically equal to a -7. We imply that it's greater than -7 when we shade above. So y greater than -7 is above, y less than -7 is below. So we know that we'll shade above the inequality. Okay? Representing y greater than -7. For the next one here, it says to graph the following inequality. So you have the correct graph or the correct line graphed. You have y less than or equal to 2/5 x plus 3. You have the solid line with a y-intercept of +3. Whoops. And a slope of 2/5. So +2 is in the upward direction for the numerator, and +5 in the denominator is in a right direction, or to the right. So up 2, 1, 2, and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have a solid line here, since the inequality says y is less than or equal to 2/5 x plus 3. So here this implies a solid line. Okay, and then the last part is, do we shave above this line or below the line? So here, if we say x is 0, in this case here, we have y is less than or equal to 2/5 times 0 plus 3. And so we can say y is less than or equal to a y-intercept of 3. So in this case here, if this is my line, y equals 3, y less than 3 will be all values less. Okay, y greater than 3 will be all values above. Whoops. Okay, so in this case here, we know that we're going to shade above the line. Oh, sorry, it says less than. So here we have y is less than y-intercept of 3, and we'll shade everything below. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's look at the next problem. Okay, here we have the graph 3x plus y is greater than 0. And so here we'll solve this inequality for y. So since there's a positive 3x here, we'll subtract 3x from both sides of the inequality. And so we get y is greater than a -3x. And I'm going to go ahead and write out my y-intercept of 0. Okay. And so here we want to determine the graph of the line. And so we'll first graph the y-intercept of 0. And so we have the y-intercept of 0 graphed here. And then we have a slope of -3 over 1. So this is our M. And so this is the rise, or represents the rise over the run. And in this case, since I have a -3, my rise is not up, it'll be down 3. Whoops. Let me write it over here. So down 3 and a +1 implies to the right 1. So we got down 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. And then we have a strict inequality, strictly greater than. So that implies that we have a dashed line. Okay, so we'll draw a dashed line here. Okay, and then we need to determine how to shade. So if I have the inequality, y is greater than a -3x plus 0, and say I let x be equal to 0, I'll get y is greater than a -3, plug in 0 for x plus 0, and so we get y greater than a y-intercept of 0. So if my y-intercept of 0 is located here, y greater than 0 goes above the line, and y less than 0 falls below the line. And so since we have the inequality y is greater than a -3x plus 0, we're going to shade above the 0 here, which covers this side of the line. Okay, so that covers the end of your test corrections. If you'd like, you can go ahead and retake your test now. Okay, thanks.